Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. And whoops, just hold on 1 minute. I just lost everybody. Okay, sorry about that. My name's Jerry Zigafus, and today I'm calling in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, instead of hot Florida. And I'm so happy to welcome all of you to our Monday morning miracle call. I'm sending a special welcome out there to our new people on the call, and you all will soon hear why we refer to the call as our miracle call. If you have any miracles, please don't be shy, because when everybody chimes in here and gives us results and tells them what patches they've used, we're just so appreciative. We may never have heard of your result and how it's doing and how you did it, and it helps our quest for healing here. So raise your hand, and if you haven't been with us, I know a lot of you know how to do it, but at the bottom of the screen, there's two different ways now. You locate the reaction button. The new ones even has the raise hand on it. But if you go to reactions, if you don't have that, then you'll be able to raise your hand up. If you don't mind limiting your testimonies to about 30 seconds to a minute, it gives time for everyone on here to give us their stories, their results, their wonderful, wonderful miracles that we love to hear. And as it was mentioned, I think last week, if you come on in the beginning, you have lots more time because the hands sometimes are a little slower going up in the beginning. So we like to stay compliant. And what that means with the company is we try to mention only the symptoms of what's going on. You know, describe it. Let us know how you were before, how you are now, and then also let us know the patches and how and where you've placed them. So the first 15 minutes of our call, we do like to stay with the X39, and you'll hear why, because X39 can conquer so many problems that we have. It just gives great results. So as I mentioned above, please stay compliant. We don't claim to cure, treat, diagnose, or prevent any condition. Also, if you have questions, there's so many people on here, doctors and everything else, that have used the patches for so long. We might and probably will be able to answer your questions. So with that, I'd like to begin our call, and I see Victoria. Yay, Victoria, please start. Unmute. Unmute, Victoria.
Hi, everyone. Actually, you know what? My stories, I have two, and they're not about the X39. So if you could give me 20 minutes, is that okay?
Well, you know what? Okay, there's other hands going up. So I'll call you back. Put your hand back up when we get to the mark. That'd be great. Thanks, Victoria. Thanks for waiting. Appreciate it. Darlene, please unmute.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to share a story of one of my customers that I got when I went to the boot camp in Texas. She was very skeptical about trying the patches. She had an autoimmune disease that had a bunch of ugly symptoms. One specifically was her eyes. She had a lot of problems with her eyes. So after 1 month, she wanted to cancel. And I told her, you really need to give it 1 month for every decade you are old. And she's almost in her 70s. And she said, okay, I'll try it a little longer. Well, about a month ago, she was all excited because the doctor, when they did her blood work, said she was in remission. And they were shocked. And last Thursday, she called me because she had seen the eye doctor that day. And the eye doctor said, I cannot believe this. Your eyes are so much better. And in my 30 years of being an eye doctor, I have never seen anyone go into remission with the autoimmune disease you have. Wow. So this lady was super ecstatic. She is not going to stop wearing her patches.
Right.
How long has she been on them?
Since May, kind of about the middle of May.
And that's super powerful, Darlene. Thank you. And what Darlene said, I hope you're all listening. You know, we're in a microwave society. We want everything boom, boom, boom. That's not how it works. I mean, even drugs if you want to go that way. They don't work, but because your doctor says it, you think that's the way to go. Give it time and be consistent, please. And like Darlene's person, you know, she was ready to stop, but great for Darlene that she talked to her and actually showed her at least a month for each year your month that you're alive. Please be consistent and persistent. And with that, let's go to John. Please unmute.
Okay, so I'm gonna tag on Darlene because mine has to do with the eyes. I started wearing the X39 in the end of June of 2019. And I knew about 6 months or so out, I hadn't paid attention, but my eyes were changing. And then, of course, when X49 came out, I added that. And I moved to Nashville in December of 22, and I had to eventually get a Tennessee driver's license. I couldn't pass the eye test. And when I was in my 50s, I had cataracts and I had mono put in. So I had one eye nearsighted, one eye farsighted, and I couldn't read the thing for the one eye. So after being there 2.5 hours, they made me go get an eye test. And it was the blessing. My eyesight now is 20/15 in both eyes.
Wow.
That is fighter pilot type eyesight. And what I've noticed is when I travel and drive long distance, I don't get as tired, but I can also see farther ahead of me to keep myself out of trouble.
Wonderful. Wow. And, you know, there's another example. This other lady had quicker results that Darlene had, and I don't know if she would have kept going, but like John's been on them since 2019. It's now 2024. So please keep in mind, this is a cumulative effect. Just stay on them. You will see results. Since there's no more hands up, I will tell you of a person. I was in Greece last month, and 3 people started on them. And the one person called me last week, and they were, you know, but she had seen me and things that had happened. So when she called me, she had had a tumor removed from her belly that was bigger than a grapefruit years ago, and it left a nasty scar because they went up and down vertically on her body. And she called me to let me know that the scar is diminishing so quickly. She's astounded. Her husband had brown marks all over his back. They were gone. And she had one of those nasty toenails that, you know, fungus and everything. And I guess I could say that. That's okay. And she says the nail is now starting to come off, and she can see a new nail growing underneath. So that's somebody that has had the quick results. So please stay on the patches. You will get results. Dushenka, come on in, unmute.
Good morning. I didn't raise my hand right away. Not just about X39. I fell down a hill and wrenched my shoulder, and I was wearing X39 and X49, and I just dusted myself off and went about my day. And, you know, didn't have any of the pain that one would expect from having wrenched your shoulder falling down a hill. And then 2 days ago, when I woke up, that shoulder where I'd fallen down the hill a month ago, it was hurting again, even with the X39 and X49. And then I remembered something that David Schmidt had said about inflammation interfering with healing. So I put an Eon on my shoulder where the pain was, in addition to the X39 and X49 that I was wearing in the regular spot. And my shoulder pain went away, and I had a great day, and I'm moving on with my life. So I just wanted to say sometimes it takes more than one.
Yeah, it does. And thank you so much. I'm glad your shoulder is back in working position and everything for you, and that it's not hurting. Thank you. Sanchar, please come in.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I'll tell 2 quick stories. My most famous story, for those of you that have been around the block, you've heard this one before, but for your new folks, the new folks that are here this morning, I'd like to share this part. Consistency really does matter. It was 2 years into wearing my X39 every day that now I can smell. I never could smell my whole entire life. What a shock that was. So that's that story. And I have another one. I mentioned this a few weeks ago, looking forward to Stuart coming on sometime and telling his own story. But he had that kind of an issue that leaves you kind of paralyzed on one side. And in fact, he couldn't even use the muscles around the mouth, you know, the jawline and stuff. So he always looked like he was kind of grumpy because he couldn't smile. And he couldn't feel his right leg for like 2 years. And he also has a condition that leaves the hands moving like that. Well, just within 20 minutes of wearing the X39, the first time I got with him, I just planted one on his C7 on his shirt. Of course, we know that the X39 and all the patches work just fine if they're not right on the skin. And so that shaking, it subsided significantly in 20 minutes.
Wow.
And since then, I haven't seen a shake on him at all. And in 2 days, he told me he could feel that right leg. We went to lunch another day, like a week later. I took a picture of him because he was saying something funny and he was laughing and smiling.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful. And like Sunshine mentioned, please, you might be talking with somebody and somebody might have an aversion that say, oh, they can't do adhesive. They're allergic. They're this, they're that. Please, as long as it's within about 3 inches of your body, you know, it works. So put it on clothing. It even works through a shoe. So yes, it works as long as you have that little bit of a 3-inch area and it'll start working for your person. So thank you, Sunshine. Fiona, please unmute. Fiona, if you are talking, you're still muted. There you go.
Sorry, forgive me, I'm driving. I couldn't unmute.
Oh,
Well, I started this a while ago, but the reason I actually did get on this was because my dad, when he first put it on, he actually had some kind of reaction. He said he felt something, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So anyway, I got on, and for me, didn't feel anything for about 3 weeks, and then when I had a issue with my heel flare up, and then I ended up putting the patch actually on the heel, and within minutes the heel pain issue subsided, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is something. So anyway, that issue kind of, it took a few weeks to actually dissipate fully, but I just started continuing wearing the patches from then. It's been brilliant. A lot of changes.
Wonderful, Fiona. Please keep on with the patches. And like when Fiona was talking about her dad, some people do feel something. I know some people, when they have some of the other patches on too, which we'll get into, they actually feel it. That's not a bad thing. So, you know, let it go. If it gets longer, we can tell you, you know, drink more water. Make sure you're drinking the water. That's a good one. Sometimes people at first, when they're trying them, have them drink a glass of water before they put it on. And, you know, if they are having problems or this, they can wear it as a shorter time, take it off, back on. So, you know, just if you have any questions about that while you're on here, just let us hear from you and we will help you. So thank you, Fiona, for that share. Christina, you're up.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
We're fine. And you?
Good, doing well. I wanted to share the story about Karen. She's one of our brand partners, and she has had eye issues, and they started getting worse and worse. She has blood sugar issues, and she said that she went to the doctor, and he said, I'm going to have to start seeing you like every 3 months because it's getting really, really bad. And then she found us and started using the X39. And she said that all of a sudden she goes into the doctor and he's like, you have perfect eyes. Your eyes you have no more problems whatsoever. I don't know what you're doing. Just keep doing it. And the only thing they're totally normal. The only thing you have is just regular, you require still glasses and stuff, but you're good to go.
That's wonderful. And, we have a lot of eye issues here, but just remember that the X39 works systemically and it goes to where your body needs it the most. So maybe you have a sore knee, a sore shoulder, or whatever. Just because it's not helping it right away, it is working, but someplace else in your body it is needed. And believe me, it's going there. So thank you, Christina.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Janie, would you please unmute?
Morning.
Morning.
I want to share this because I got the idea for this on one of these calls and it might help someone else. My very elderly kitty, who I of course adore, had been getting slower and slower and eating less and kind of, not jumping or doing anything very exciting. And since I got the idea of putting a used X39 on a collar around for her, and leaving on her for 12 hours. So I take it off at night and put it on her overnight. She's changed entirely. She's jumping. She's jumped off the kitchen counter. She jumped onto my bed the other night. She's eating voraciously. She is eating all kinds of food she never ate before. So, I mean, and my neighbor who takes care of her sometimes says, every time I see her, she looks younger. I don't know what it is. So it's was an idea that I would never have thought of had I not heard about it. And I'm so
yeah, I am such a promoter. I am an animal lover and I've used them on my dogs. But since you had a cat story, my friend's cat, who was like 18 pounds, was down to 4 pounds. And they started using the patches and the jumping, just like you're saying, eating, coming back to life. So yeah, and just so you all know, when you have an animal and you can take yours off and reuse it on it. On my dogs, I used it on their collar. I just put it on the inside of the collar. But if they don't wear a collar, a bandana, sometimes it will stick on their fur, but a lot of times it'll fall out. But, use something that you have there. And as long as it's close, if they sleep in the same spot all the time, put it where they sleep, and you can put it there and that'll work out too. So yes, thank you so much, Janie. I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Carol Lynn, good morning. How are you? Please unmute.
Good morning, Love Tribe. I had a face plant on Saturday. I was walking to a nearby restaurant and there was a huge fist-sized piece of metal sticking out of the sidewalk, and I just slammed straight down like a cartoon and said ow probably 100 times in the first minute. And because of X39 and X49, I didn't break anything. I'm 72 years old and I've been wearing all the patches for over 2 years now. And I immediately took the X39 and put it on my cheek. I actually had a little, it still hurts right here. I put another patch. I had Energy Enhancer and I put it on my hand because I slammed onto my hands. And I was so concerned because I've had 2 thumb joints replaced in both my hands, and I didn't break anything. So this is a huge testimonial to X39 and 49. And the Energy Enhancer, when I put it on my hand, I had this huge swelling right here. And I still have, you can see it's all banged up, but it doesn't hurt anymore. And I put Energy Enhancer here, and the other one wouldn't stick. So I just laid it upside down on the top of my hand. And then when I got home, I took a whole baggie full of used patches and laid them on my hand. And I also learned something with this because I always travel with my patches wherever I go. And I took out all of my samples out of my little fanny pack, and I will never do that again. So it's always good to travel with our patches, right?
Exactly, Carolyn. I go everywhere with them. So yes, thank you. And sorry, Christine, I did miss you, but I would like to, if Victoria is there, since she was the first person to put her hand up, if you're there, Victoria, unmute and you can come in whenever. And if you're not there, Christina, if you want to, whoops, Christina, your hand was up and I missed you. If you want to unmute, please.
Actually, I did talk. I apologize. I forgot to
okay.
lower it.
Okay.
Thank
Alrighty.
you.
Sorry. Yeah, I did. Okay, Allie, good morning. Good morning. Come on in.
Hi, I had discomfort in my leg, like right where your leg attaches to the rest of your body. I couldn't figure out what was causing it. And for about 2 years, I had some restriction in activity. And then I was with Dr. Annabelle and I mentioned it, and she said, put on the Ice Wave. As soon as I put on the brown patch, it went from an 8 to a 2. It didn't bother me for 2 weeks, so I guess I need to use it again. And also as somebody else mentioned, just being here and getting all these ideas. I had some damage in brain surgery, so it was normal for my hand. I can't quite keep it steady, but the last week, not only was I going like this, but my whole body was shaking. And I just was telling myself, because what you tell yourself matters more than anything, to be calm. And I got up this morning and it's back to here. So I thank my loving LifeWave family for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, you're new people. If you're a little shy and you have something to tell us, just like Allie was saying, you help us all by coming on and telling us your stories. So please unmute Cindy.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say I started the LifeWave because a friend of mine suggested it was stem cells, and so I've been learning about stem cells for years, ever since Superman was interested in it. And so I was like, oh my God, it's like thousands of dollars. I'll never be able to use something like that. So when a friend of mine introduced me about this, I was sold. He didn't even have to say anything more because I was sold on it. But anyway, I started it in April and hadn't had any results for 3 months. And so I'm like, okay, there's other things going on in my body. So I started because my eyes are bad, and so I didn't want to get anything more than readers, which I have been using for years. So for 3 months, I haven't noticed any difference at all. And so then I just woke up one day and like, oh my goodness, I have so much energy. It's like it's been going on for like three months now, 3 weeks, because I started in April, this last April. And so for 3 weeks now, it's like, oh my goodness, I have so much energy. I'm doing things that I used to do. And so, and then I've been using the patches. I know you're not supposed to do this, but I do, and it works. I just save the patches that I've used, and I use them on my cat. And he has a sty or something in his eye, and I'll use the patches on him, but I don't take them off like everybody else does after 12 hours. I just leave them on until I notice that his symptoms are coming back. So then he improves when I change the patches, when I see the symptoms come back. And then I noticed the other day, like 2 weeks ago, because I have the fungus on my toenails. And so I was using oils, essential oils, and that really helped a lot. But the oils, I need to ramp it up a little more. So anyway, 2 weeks ago, I noticed my toenail on my right foot was black. It was like turning, like I didn't hit it or anything. It just black. And so the big toe on the other foot started changing colors. And then my little toe, it was really, really thick, and I could hardly even like put a nail clipper on it. So then I noticed the other day when I was clipping my nails, that nail was just regular thin. And so then I'm like looking at my nails, and so my nail it's still black. I don't know. And then I haven't really noticed my eyes getting better. In fact, they were starting to get worse the last few weeks. So I know there's something else going on in my body that needs it. But yeah, so I just use the patches that are already used, because at night I have pains and stuff. And so I'll just grab a patch that I've already used. And I don't know what it is. I have 3 that I've been doing for the eye protocol that Dr. Kim suggested, And I sent her an email asking her how long does it take, and I'm sure she'll say, well, everybody's different. So, but anyway, I haven't noticed any change with my eyes. But I haven't been noticing other things. I know I'm over the 30 seconds. I apologize. So
Okay. No, thank you for your stories. And regarding your cat, yeah, that's what we do. We repurpose our ones and we put it on our animals. And most probably, Cindy, you know, you have maybe 12 hours for your animal and it's wearing off already. So by that time, you could put another repurposed one on your cat. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning, Robin. Welcome back.
Here. Well, thank you. Thank you. It's wonderful to be back with everyone. We had an amazing time and we were privileged to sit at dinner every night in the dining room with our upline, Dr. Nicholas Tivoli and his wife, Dr. Misty, and Kai and Lynette. And I just wanted to I put it in the chat, the reminder for Dr. Nicholas's YouTube channel. And he has a whole bunch of short videos on there because, you know, we all know IceWave, because it's a 2-patch system, can be a little tricky for some people. And if it's nerve pain, it's not necessarily, you know, using it the same way. So there's a whole bunch of short videos there that will be quite enlightening if you haven't been there yet. So I was just doing that as a reminder. And it was so great to be with everyone. And we will talk a little bit more, like Gregory said. We'll share a little tonight, and next week when everyone's back in town, we'll have people that were with us share the great news of what it was like to be on the 20th anniversary cruise. Okay.
It must have been fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing.
It was amazing. And it was kind of hot. That's an understatement. So, you know, Athens in August, I'd pick a different month for if you're going to travel there. Anyway,
what Robin is inferring to, and I'll tell you all, I was there too. It was 108 and 104 degrees. So yes, what she is talking about, I can imagine.
Yeah, but we had a great time, and it was wonderful to be with everyone from all over the world and celebrate, because 20 years is a huge accomplishment. So we'll talk more about that later. Thank you, Jerry, and everybody else for your sharing.
Oh, thank you so much, Robin. Sarah, next, would you unmute and share? Still, it didn't go off yet.
Okay,
there you go.
I'm good. I turned 75 this week, and I had announced that in church.
Happy birthday. By the way, happy birthday.
And I realized about a month ago that I had purchased on my birthday a year ago, my very first X39. So I had two reactions. One was in February when I was at work at the massage, where I do massage. One of the clients started talking about aging and help and hopeful things. And I said, well, I'm 74. And my clerk at the front desk said, that can't be true. And I said, no, it is true. And she's like, no, Sarah, you're lying. And she got real emotional. And I'm like, listen, I'll show you my driver's license. And she was like, that quieted her. And then in church, when I announced it on Sunday, two of the guys in the coffee hour came over and said, is it really true? Because we think it's not. And I said, no, it's really true. I'm turning 75. And they were like, wow. So this is my first year. I can hardly wait for another year. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sarah. Appreciate that. And again, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Victoria, the floor is yours. Let's hear.
Okay, so now, actually, I do have the X39 story because a friend of mine uses the X39 and then she puts it on her little dog. The dog is like, I think 13 or 14 years old and has cancer and has whatever. And actually the vet said, you know, she had a very short time to live, to just take care of her. That was a year ago. And the dog is doing great. I mean, I see the dog and she looks like a little youngster. So that was incredible. But my story is one about the IceWave, and I get really bad headaches when I'm under the sun or under stress, you know, the M headaches. Right. And I was like, okay, the doctor had told me, when you feel that little, you know, headache coming, just take whatever pill. And I used to do that. And of course it stopped it on its tracks. So I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. what I'm going to do is take the Ice Wave and I put, you know, one patch where it was hurting and the other one right across. I'm telling you, it was, I think, 3 minutes and the headache went away.
Wow.
And I was so grateful because, you know, at one point I started to feel like I wanted to puke. And that's when I know that they've sent me to the doctors. So, and then the second story is actually about sleep. I am, you know, like lots of changes going on in my life, which are good changes. And I'm under a little stress, hence the headache. But I also am having trouble sleeping. And I do meditation. I have a lot of tools, but they were not working. And my daughter uses the sleep patch because it works marvelous for her. She's going to be an MD. So I'm talking to her and I'm asking her, and she said, "Mom, well, you have the sleep patches. Those are incredible." She said, "Just make sure you put an alarm because, you know, it's happened to her where she wears them." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to start using them again." And I actually had to build up, probably because my sleep pattern was so messed up. So the first night it helped me sleep a little sounder. And this is the third night I've been using them. And I'm telling you, I didn't listen. I didn't hear the alarm. I mean, I was so sound asleep. It took somebody called me and I was in the middle of a really vivid dream. So I recommend the sleep patches if you have trouble. I think you know, if it doesn't work right away, I think it just has to build up, but it was incredible.
Oh.
So yeah.
Victoria, thank you. And you're our last caller, but I wanted to ask you a question about the headaches. Do you only get them in that one position, in one spot, or have you had them other places, and have you put the patches in other places?
Actually, I do get them in different places. Sometimes they start here. Sometimes they'll start here. So in this case, it was here, but I actually I had to go out, so I didn't want to go like looking like Frankenstein. But put them, you know, like here, right on my neck.
Right there.
Right under my neck. So one here and one here. And they kept on working fine.
Yeah, thank you. And as Victoria said, please, I know some people that the sleep patch works instantly, but yes, some people take about 3, 4, 5 days till they finally get it in their rhythm and then they start to sleep again. So thank you for finishing our call, Victoria, and waiting patiently. And I'd love to turn this over to Robin.
Okay, well, wonderful call. And I do want to mention about sleep. There's different reasons that people have a hard time with sleep. Sometimes it's pain keeps them awake. Sometimes it's stress. Sometimes it's a busy mind. And there used to be a great video that got taken down. Hopefully it'll come back soon. But David talks about, you know, taking taurine if you have a busy mind, using Eon if you have stress, using, you know, if you have pain, using X39 and Ice Wave during the day and Eon at night. And so there's different patches that help us sleep. And as we age, our body produces less melatonin. And that's what Silent Night does, is it helps the body create melatonin. And so trying different things, and like Jerry said so beautifully, it could take a little while. Some people don't have an immediate response to Silent Night, but you know, like everything else we've heard today, consistency can make a big difference. And also for headaches, a lot of people have had great results using the HAT protocol. And it's easily described in liveyoungerproducts.com, so you can see it there. So thank you, everyone, today. Thank you, Jerry, for doing such a wonderful job. I don't know how many of you are getting on the Sunday night Doc Talk call, but it was amazing last night. I'm so proud on how professional it is. And I always have guests, and afterward, they're ready to sign up. And it's a great, great tool that I hope everyone's using. It is not recorded, so you do need to be live, and you can ask questions and get one of the practitioners to answer. And there's so many doctors on there. So tonight we have we're going to talk about Punta Points, because we're getting close to the deadline, which I think is September 1st. It's coming up really soon. Also, the deadline September 15th to walk across the stage at the conference. So we'll talk about those things tonight and give you some ideas and strategies of how you can finish strong. We'll show a few pictures, and then next week when everyone's back, because a lot of people that were on the cruise are still having an amazing time over in Europe, and we're getting some great pictures from them. So with all that, I think it's time to complete our call and have a wonderful, wonderful Miracle Monday. Great to be with, when I was on the call last night, I realized how much I missed you guys. So it's great to be back. All right, everybody.
Glad you're back.
Thank you.
Glad you're
Welcome
back.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
All right,
Have a
good to
great
see
week.
everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
job, Jerry.
Bye, Robin.
Thank you.
Good job, Jerry.
Bye, Jerry. Thank you.
Good
You're
job.
welcome.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks,
You're welcome.
everyone. Good
Thank
job,
you.
Jerry.
Oh,
Welcome back,
thanks.
Robin and Gregory.
Thanks for all of you being
Good
here.
job,
You make the
Jerry.
call. You make the
Dinner
call.
to
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Fabulous job, Jerry. Amazing. Woohoo.
Don't understand this camera at all.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Finally, I want to say goodbye to all. Love you all. Welcome back, Gregory and Robin.
Ditto.